Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Prachel with Fearless Vixen, and I'm here because I moved to Lisbon, Portugal, and I'm living the high vibe life. And so my channel is all about living the high vibe, high vibration, high frequency life, and my experiences here in Lisbon, Portugal, and throughout the world as the world becomes available, hopefully sooner than later. I wanted to make this video because I'm getting a lot of questions. And one thing that I love are questions because I'm a very resourceful person. So if I don't know the answer to a question, I'm gonna go find it. Remember, I've only been in Lisbon for 65 days now. So I'm going to answer these questions to the best of my ability using my personal experience mostly, but also the experiences of others that I'm friends with, because I wanted to give you the best answer first of all, and the most well-rounded approach. So I have 10 questions that I wrote down. You guys are emailing me, you are making comments below the videos, you're contacting me on Facebook and Instagram, and sometimes even LinkedIn, and I love it. So keep the questions coming. I'm more than happy to answer them. If you go to my videos, you'll see that I respond to just about every comment that I get. So keep them coming, you guys. So let's get down to it. Very first question. And I get this question a lot, and it kind of surprises me because I'll read the question first. How were you able to move to Portugal? I thought the country was closed to Americans. So that's a surprising question for me, but I'm going to answer it. We were able to move to Portugal because we had residency visas. We applied for the D7 visa. I think we applied on August 31st. I think that was the date. And we were approved in October. So I had a video where I had broke down the entire process of our application, but I unpublished it because I thought it was confusing. And also the requirements have changed since we applied just, 6-7 months ago. So yes, we are here legally. I don't see how we could be here illegally because the borders are closed to Americans. All EU borders are closed to Americans that do not have the proper residency permits or visas, and the US has closed down its borders to EU citizens as for right now. There's no word now on when that's going to reopen, but hopefully it'll be soon. I know a lot of people want to come here, and I wish you could be here too, but everything will start to reopen soon. So let's be hopeful, okay? Okay, second question is, how much does it cost to move to Portugal? That question I haven't answered. And the reason why is because costs are so relative to your situation. So I'll give you an example. A person that's coming here that's single with no children and coming by themselves, their costs are going to be different than a family of 4 or 5. So I will give you an example of what it costs for us to come here. But you have to keep in mind, we did not ship anything here. So the costs that we've incurred coming here were mostly, excluding the cost for the visa, were plane tickets and the cost of our weekly stays at Airbnbs until we got our long-term rental. We made a mistake in our airline tickets. We should have. We saw the prices go like way down. I think it was in October, the prices had went way down. And then the next week they shot back up. And we knew that when those prices went down, we should have snatched our tickets then, and we didn't. So we ended up paying $1,200 for Delta. We flew on Delta Comfort. I have a thing with airlines. I have to be comfortable. So I always try to choose like the section above regular coach if I can, because I need to be comfortable on airlines. I'm one of those people that can't sleep on airlines. I gotta know what's going on, so I have to be comfortable, and Delta Comfort is amazing. I would recommend Delta Comfort for anyone who is coming here. Delta from Atlanta does not have any direct flights. We have to either go through Miami, Newark, New Jersey, Washington, D.C., or we have to connect in Amsterdam or Paris, France, and then come to Lisbon. Now, after the lockdown, after when the pandemic is slowly ceasing to exist, I'm hoping that there will be a route from Atlanta to Lisbon and back and forth, because I still need to go to Atlanta for business purposes. And it would just be great to be able to hop on a plane and be in Atlanta in 8 to 10 hours. So hopefully. But in terms of the cost of the Airbnb, we were in Airbnbs for most of January. And those costs were very affordable because tourism has shrunk significantly. Obviously, if Americans cannot get here, I know that Portugal relies on tourism from all over the world, especially America and Europe. So the tourism market has shrunk because of all the lockdowns and the travel bans and things like that. So I think that for Airbnbs weekly, we're probably paying around $300 to $400 a week. And then you have the cost of food, which again, that's relative. I said this in another video. I didn't cook for the whole month of January because I didn't want to. Moving around from Airbnb to Airbnb, I couldn't catch my rhythm. So it was just easier to eat out. And we probably ate out once a day. We did bring in snacks and things like that, but we probably ate out once a day. So the food cost, I'm so embarrassed to say this, I think we probably spent about maybe $600 or $700 during the month of January for food. That went significantly down for February because we ended up getting a place and things kind of went back to normal cooking wise. But those were the main costs: the transportation, cost of getting here, the food, and then just running around, getting everything we needed for our staff appointments, which it wasn't a lot, but we did have to take several car services. And the car service here, the main one is called Bolt, which I really like. It's really affordable. A lot of people are not using public transportation just because of the pandemic. So a lot of people are either driving or taking Bolt, biking. Some are walking, or a lot of people are walking. I'm not sure if that's how it is normally, but I would say that transportation costs were, for the month of January, I would say probably spent about $200. For me, everything is in dollars. It's easier for me to translate. Euros, I'm still trying to get, but we spent about $200 in transportation. Now, I'm gonna go over some visa costs a little bit later on, but those were just the basic costs of moving here. Had we shipped things over, it obviously would have been more expensive. And I'm gonna tell you why I don't think that's a good idea a little bit later. So the next question is, what are the most affordable areas of Lisbon? Okay, this is what I've learned about Lisbon. We came here early January. Lisbon locked down, I think around the 15th. So we had a good 2 weeks to explore a lot of different areas of Lisbon. And one thing I can say about Lisbon is that the prices for apartments are all over the place. For instance, I met someone at the laundromat. This is before I knew that our wash machine was also a dryer as well. I was going to the laundromat to dry our clothes, but I met someone at the laundromat and he was telling me that he knew someone, the person that owns this building knew one of his grandparents, and because of that, he lives in a really nice apartment. And he only pays $300 a month. And what he does is he just pays for it for the entire year. And he said that he's good for the year, and there you go. Realistically though, I have seen prices here in Lisbon range and vary depending on what you want. I've seen like as low as $400 to $500 for a studio apartment, all the way up to an apartment that we actually saw that was 3,500 euro per month. So the prices do vary significantly. We went to go see that unit just to kind of see what we could get in different price ranges. What I would do if I were you is there's two websites I would recommend if you're apartment hunting. Do this before you get here. The first one is Idealista.pt and the second one is Remax.pt. If you're in the States, you've probably heard of Remax. They're everywhere. I will put these two links in the description box below. When you're searching, know that a T0 is a studio apartment, T1, 1 bedroom, T2, 2 bedroom, and so on and so forth. Everything else is pretty standard. So Portugal does not use the multiple listing service like we do in the States. So there is no centralized repository for all real estate listings. They do things differently here. It's a different country, so things are done differently. So start there, see what you can get in your price range. In terms of areas, Our Rich Journey has a wonderful video on their 5 favorite areas of Lisbon. I would wholeheartedly agree with everything that they have mentioned in that video. I will also link that video below because it's a wonderful video. You can start with those areas. One thing that doesn't bother me that they had pointed out in their video is that they talk about hilly areas, and I thought that would bother me before I moved here, but it doesn't bother me to live in an area with a lot of hills because let's face it, we can all use a little more activity when we're out and about. So hilly areas don't bother me. Neither do areas that are in flight paths. And a flight path is basically if you live, near airport, that's the area that planes fly overhead. I grew up in San Bernardino, California, and there used to be a big Air Force base in San Bernardino called Norton. So I grew up used to hearing the jets in the mornings and in the evenings warming up. And so being in a flight path really doesn't bother me. It's not a big deal for me as long as you have really good windows. You can kind of block out some of that sound. But look at that video and check out those areas and see what you can find in your price range. Remember, Americans, everything there is in euros, so you do need to do the conversion. I have made plenty of mistakes. Just, in my head, I'm still thinking in dollars. So make sure you do the conversions and just go from there. You should be able to find something that fits your budget. We have a really wonderful real estate attorney that we worked with, and he was awesome. So I will also put his information below so that you can contact him, reach out to him, and work with him on finding a place. Now, should you find a place before you get here? We were going to. Remember, we had already gotten our visas and then we started looking for a place. We were actually going to. I'm glad that we didn't. But I think now that the visa requirements have changed where they're asking people to have like a 6 months to a 1-year lease when you're applying for your D7 visa, it's hard because I personally would like to, just like anyone else, I don't want to rent sight unseen. There's just a lot of variations when it comes to apartments here, and they're all good. They're very good, sturdy structures. Don't get me wrong, Lisbon has some very beautiful places, very well-appointed places. However, if you know someone on the ground, like a friend, family member, I would definitely have them work with a real estate agent to help you to locate a place that suits your needs. I know right now real estate agents aren't technically allowed to go and show properties because of the lockdown, but when things do open up, that's the route that I would take. So if you want me to say a little bit more about the real estate market here, please let me know in the comments. I've learned a whole bunch since I've been here and I'm happy to share. So that's the next question is, oh gosh, can I bring my blender, etc., and any advice on what to bring and not to bring? When I think I was here for about 3 or 4 weeks and I did a video about things I brought to Portugal. However, I might need to update that video because this is what I feel. This is my general feeling. If you have things that you cannot live without, and I mean absolutely cannot live without, and I'm not talking about blenders and sewing machines. I'm talking about things like medication, medical devices, things that you need to actually live, then obviously, of course, you're going to bring those items. When it comes to electronics, the only thing that I think is really going to work in your favor here are the really small electronics, like cell phone chargers. And I know that sounds extreme, but my boyfriend bought his clippers and his clippers don't work here. In fact, when you plug them in, they make a really loud buzzing sound. So he has to go and get himself a pair of clippers that actually work with the voltage here. We have a really nice bed. It's in storage now. And we can't bring it here because it's one of those beds that, you know, you raise up and you can lower it and you can do lumbar support and all that good stuff. I'm a Taurus. We love to be comfortable, guys. So we can't bring that here. I have a friend who was looking for a Vitamix here because he has one back in the States, and he was concerned, leave your electronics at home, sell them, give them away, and buy them here. It's just better. And I'll be honest with you, it's just better. And one thing that I really like about Lisbon, again, I'm just speaking on Lisbon here, is that there are so many small mom and pop family owned businesses here that sell good quality items. And so much so that the only things that I would recommend so far, just so far, that you bring that I feel like are more expensive here are your supplements. Like if you're taking vitamin C or zinc or, maca root, ashwagandha, things like that, I would probably bring those, bring enough so that you can get by and then order the rest from like an Amazon or Etsy, or even here there's health food stores, but everything else you can find here. This is not a place where you just can't find anything. This is a place where anything that you really want, you can find. So with that being said, when you are making the move, when you're thinking about what to bring and what to sell, I would probably sell most of everything. There's some things that I won't part with, like my art collection, book collection, things like that. Things that are very personal to me that I probably will eventually bring over. But until then, I would definitely sell off a lot of your items. I have friends who have brought things over in containers and they're very happy with their items. But it's just an expense that you probably don't need to have. And aside from IKEA, which people have a love-hate relationship with IKEA. I know where I stand with IKEA, but IKEA came in handy when it was time to buy like a mattress pad, a clothing rack. I have a little desk over here in the corner that I got from IKEA. Hey, you know what? It works, and there are some, I've seen the websites, but I have not personally been yet, but there's some really nice furniture stores here. So yeah, everything you can get in the States, you can get here, and it will probably be a little better quality here too. I don't know that it would be that much cheaper, but I think in terms of like not having to ship things over, the cost might be a little bit lower. So sell what you have. I would definitely say to do that. Okay. Do I need to speak Portuguese before moving? When you are moving to another country, it's important I would say, to at least learn hello, goodbye, good morning, the basic pleasantries. If you're taking Portuguese lessons now, I've heard to make sure that you're taking the European Portuguese. However, I met someone at Staples here who's Brazilian and who speaks Portuguese. And he said that he's fine. Like he's fine. There's like there's some words that are different and some pronunciations that are different, but he was like, I can communicate with Portuguese just fine. Now, my plan is to start my language lessons in June. And the reason why is because I'm trying to get away from do everything right now and multitasking mentality. I'm trying to get away from that. So this move was huge. And I wanted to give myself time to immerse myself into the culture. I haven't been able to do that as much as I want to yet because of the lockdown. However, I wanted to give myself time to listen to Portuguese. I was actually listening to an interview in Portuguese just yesterday, to listen to it, to engage with it, the language, engage with people. I can do a whole transaction at the grocery store in Portuguese, so I'm proud of myself of that. And then after I had been here for like 4 or 5 months, I wanted to go ahead and just start formal language lessons to kind of integrate everything that I have been learning so far. So that's how I'm doing it. Do you have to learn it before you come? I wouldn't say that you have to learn it. It's a good idea. Obviously, you're in Portugal, try to speak Portuguese or try to speak a little bit of it. Do people here speak English? Yes, people here do speak English. I had an experience where I was at the post office and I was trying to ship back a box to Amazon, and the lady at the attendant, the post office, the postal worker, she seemed like she was annoyed with me that I did not speak the language. So I was sent away, and it was my fault. I was sent away. I came back around and I got someone else, and I was able to handle that transaction. I do know that I have had that experience a couple of times here, but not so much that, it's off-putting to me. I completely get it. So yeah, when in Portugal, speak Portuguese, that makes sense. What is the nightlife after work scene? I'm going to ask, if you have been living in Lisbon, especially if you're Portuguese, I want to know what that's like too. I don't have an answer. I know that when I go for my walks on the riverfront, I see dozens of rooftop places, rooftop bars, restaurants with terraces, places where people look like they hang out. I see a place called Lust in Rio. I want to know what that is, but I don't know what the nightlife scene here is, because when we first got here, again, we were not on lockdown. We were able to go to Pink Street and just kind of walk through. The crowd was really light, but Portugal was still on restrictions. So I don't know what the nightlife scene here. I want to know what the after work scene is. I'm not a club person at all. I'm more of a lounge type person, but let me know in the comments, like, what is the after work nightlife scene here? Can I find yoga, massage, nail salons, etc.? Yes, it's all here. Massage studios, read the reviews. That's all I'm gonna say, okay? Read the reviews on the massage studios, because some and that's all I'm gonna say about that. But everything else, I actually walked into a massage place called Terra Heal that's not too far from here. Beautiful, wonderful environment, high vibration, and I will be getting massages from there when things are open and we can safely do so. Next question. Okay. Is Lisbon, Portugal, a racist place? Okay. I'm not the person to answer, but I can tell you what some interesting experiences I've had here. Now, if you are not a person that has experienced racism in your life, you have to understand that before certain groups of people, Black people especially, make the decision to leave the country, leave the United States of America, that is a consideration that we need to look into. Unfortunately, if I could take the burden off of us, I most certainly would. I'm gonna help to lighten the load, but I understand that that's a consideration. So I'm gonna speak directly to people who look like me. And this is not the last time I'm going to address this on my channel. Again, I think it's really important information. I have had no less than 7 conversations. This is just in passing. And this is not something that I bring up. People have approached me and they want to talk about race relations in the USA. I can tell you that the people that have approached me, like, I think for 3 weeks, I said before that I was going to the laundromat, and I've had 3 conversations there. I've had 2 conversations with our Airbnb hosts, and then I've had like maybe 2 random conversations with just people that are curious. And I can tell you from those people, I can't say that they were all Portuguese because this is a very diverse city. I can tell you at least one of them was a gentleman from India, but he lived in like Switzerland. I think he came here from like Switzerland or Switzerland, Geneva. They know, okay? They know, and I will say that some of those conversations with the Portuguese, they know too. Like they get it, and I can appreciate that. I don't know that anyone can ever understand unless you like walk in our shoes, but let me tell you, people, they know. I have not, since I've been here, in the short time that I've been here, I have not felt any tinge. But again, that's something that, that's a question that someone who may have been here longer than me, and maybe there's a lot of Africans here from Guinea and Guinea-Bissau and Mozambique and Angola. Those are questions for them. However, the way that I feel is that if you're looking for racism, you're going to find it, okay? That's not just in Portugal, that's everywhere in the world. If we're looking for it, we're going to find it. I did not note a reason for moving here as, I did not note racism as something that I, really looked into, because to be honest with you, videos from like Driven Spice, Fix with PK, Our Rich Journey, I didn't see them making videos about it, but I was like, if they're here, then there must be something good about it. So what I would say is, although I have not felt it, I have felt extremely welcomed by people here, from people who may have immigrated here from other countries, and especially the Portuguese. I have felt embraced. So again, that could be, we give off the same energy that we expect back. And the questions that we asked ourselves before we chose a place to live are questions like, can we be happy here? Can we have a good quality of life here? We didn't really delve too deep into racism, because again, racism, just to me, racism is just evil. It's just a world evil, and you're gonna find good and you're gonna find evil all over the world. So, come here looking for good, come here looking for a good quality of life. come here looking for a good, high vibe, positive experience, and that's what you'll get in return. So that's my question about racism in Lisbon, and I did not want to do any type of video connecting racism and Portugal. I think that could be unfair to Portugal, really, because again, we've been welcomed here. So that's been my experience. Other people may jump on YouTube and say what their experiences are, and I'd be happy to hear. And I'd also be happy to hear from the Portuguese on your experiences, because again, the Portuguese come in all different shades. I'm serious, guys. I've seen all different kinds of Portuguese people here speaking Portuguese, and I'm here for it. So I think there's one more question, and this is a question that's concerning black hair care products. This video is a little bit long, but who cares? Black hair care products. I have not had the need to purchase our hair care products. However, I've seen stores, so I know that they're here. I've seen stores. There's actually not a store not too far from me that sells all kinds of products for our hair. I have micro locks. You can see I have micro locks, which are like really tiny locks. This is my second set of locks. It haven't locked yet, but I'm waiting. But yeah, you can find them here. So I would say, like, bring your products, like bring whatever you bring. And just know that, you're gonna have friends that go back to the States regularly. If you need something, it's, we're here. So, we have to go back to the States regularly every, 4 or 5 months or so. You're gonna find what you need here. So anyway, this has been Prachel with Fearless Vixen. Thank you so much for watching. I just hit 600 subscribers. I'm really excited about that. Keep the questions coming. I'm very resourceful. Like I said, I will find answers for you. If I don't know them offhand, I will find answers for you. And don't forget to subscribe, because when you subscribe, that helps this channel be exposed to even more people that are looking for information just like you are. I will be back twice a week with a new video, and I will see you very, very soon. You take care. Bye.